Hello all my Kinvians and welcome to a new episode of Discovering Classic Doctor Who. Today we're continuing, well, really finishing the Reign of Terror with A Bargain of Necessity and Prisoners of Conciergerie? Is how I'm guessing it's pronounced. Honestly, have no idea. But the first episode we'll be watching is another animation recreation, since the original footage is, as far as I can tell, no longer existing. And then we will finish off with a regular styled episode where the things won't look quite as uncanny valley and terrifying. But anyway, let's get right into it. Left off last time with, unless I'm mistaken, Ian being trapped by Leon. And apparently Susan's still getting sick, and honestly I have no idea. And Susan and Barbara got captured again. I'm not entirely sure what else is going on. Anyway, before I talk myself into a complete corner, let's get right into it with A Bargain of Necessity. In 3, 2, 1, go. When the animation is good, the animation is quite good. Are they humping him? Looked like they were humping him. He has anime eyes. That's what's so freaky. It's like, for some reason, the Doctor's eyes are larger than they should be.
And if that order is disobeyed,
you will die.
I'll have you guillotined.
In not so many words. Now his eyes are normal.
No chance of that.
No, now they're anime.
What do you want?
My eyes just look bizarrely large.
Oh, you found them! Well, how'd you get away from the farmhouse?
I can't bring enough time to take too long.
Oh, Bob,
Neither can the show.
I've taken care of that. She'll be out of the...
oh, she'll be along later with him. I just walked out.
Walked out? But... I don't know how he gets away with it half the time.
Neither do we.
Hey,
Well, not very much. We didn't have a chance.
Robespierre? I suppose you think
He's
it...
not an extremist like
Oh,
Rose.
Barbara, shoot it our friend. He saved
I
our
know
lives.
all that.
She wanted to do him.
Neither are the people who support him.
That too.
For the whole world.
We had to talk.
Whoa, that's a close-up. Womp womp. Lemaitre, that's who I mean. Hello? Indeed. Yes. Hello? 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 Yes. Indeed. Okay. So, A Bargain of Necessity. Now, as far as the animation goes, for the most part, maybe it's just because I kind of got used to it with the previous episode, but it didn't seem as bad for the most part, or at least it wasn't as uncanny valley. But then I noticed the Doctor's eyes, and I maybe that's why it didn't feel as weird for the most part, because that's the only thing that was really kind of throwing me off most of the time, was just how the Doctor's eyes would kind of change size. And whenever we had that one kind of close-up, slightly angled, like, they're huge, they're like anime eyes. Maybe it's just me. I'm crazy. But that's the one thing that came to mind every time I saw that pose. But, and then also there was that one scene where there was just like this really weird close-up of the Doctor. Like, much more close-up than it needed to be. I don't know what the deal was there. But that aside, the episode was quite well done. I feel like it really progressed the story some. We had a bit of action. The action was okay as far as animation goes. I feel like the speed of it made it feel almost Matrix-like, especially with the throwing of the gun. And I know that, especially way back, guns didn't exactly work the way they do now, or at least like you essentially had one shot and you're done. So that explains why, like, you know, some of the soldiers, like, they didn't just, like, you know, pick up and fire immediately. I think. But still, it's because of the speed of that scene at the beginning, it felt like, I don't know, it's like everyone had a gun except for Ian, and yet Jules didn't get shot at until he grabbed a guard who had also had a gun with a bayonet and got him in the way of the shot that was going to kill him. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me. Maybe it looks different, or it looks a little bit more properly paced when done like on the original footage, but of course we don't have that. So, you know, I just kind of gotta judge it on what I can experience. Now, that being said, one thing that excuse me, that really stood out to me this episode, and really it's been the previous episodes as well, but really and truly it does feel like luck is the thing that is saving their hides throughout this entire story. It might be also the same in the previous stories as well. It could be that in, you know, the new era of Doctor Who. I haven't really put that together. Maybe I'll rewatch some of the, like, 2005 and on episodes and see how much luck kind of plays into it. But dear God, like, every bit of progress they've been making is seemingly luck-based. Like, the fact that that jailer just happens to be kind of dim. The fact that Jules showed up when he did. The fact that he didn't get shot. Yeah, it's... like, again, throughout this story, it just seems like luck has been on their side to a degree that it almost feels like a supernatural force for the TARDIS crew. Now, yes, I mean, some bad things have happened. They've gotten caught multiple times. But yeah, it's just, it really does feel like what Susan said plays a huge role in this entire adventure so far. Although, admittedly, the Doctor, especially in this episode, did seem to be truly cunning, or it's like, you know, was actually able to manipulate a little bit, able to work his way around the situation, as opposed to it just being, yeah, the jailer's just a complete idiot, you know. So yeah, but again, more than anything, I just kind of hope this final episode of the story, we see something more come into play, like whether it's more cunning on the Doctor's part, the entire team getting into it, and you know, sort of coming together, using their minds to get out of a dangerous situation. Just something more than luck to get them out of danger. And I really do hope that's the case. So let's get this queued up, and I will get ready for Prisoners of Conciergerie. And I gotta remember to turn on the subtitles because this DVD makes me do it every friggin' time. Anyway, let's get going. In 3, 2, 1, go.
We came alone, my boy. We made a bargain. Let him speak.
A bargain of necessity.
What can you have to say to us?
I'm a little bit disappointed because it seems like the doctor, understandably because he's worried about Susan, but he's just kind of distracted almost entirely by that.
This is a typical night's trade. I'm not surprised.
It's Napoleon Bonaparte.
Oh,
We're quite safe here. I mean,
not gonna lie, most of them kind of look the same to me.
well chosen. I should be ready to take over. Napoleon? Napoleon as ruler of France?
Yes,
Yes, as one of 3 consuls.
He was...
Let's go off talking on here.
because he's dead? Oh. Oh. That's messed up.
Should have let me go in here. Remember the name Napoleon Bonaparte. Corsican? Ruling France.
Indeed.
Want to be there?
Stock footage. Hello, TARDIS.
What are we going to see and learn next, Doctor? Well, unlike the old age, my boy, our destiny is in the stars. So let's go and search.
Planet of Giants. Curious. I like that they ended this with another kind of nice transition, even though it's, the fake outer space. I'm curious whether or not it's going to transition to... Nope, just the black. That's fine. Alright, so prisoners of Conciergerie. First of all, before I start talking about this, define Conciergerie. The Conciergerie is a building in Paris, France, located on the west of... formerly a prison, but presently used mostly for law courts. Oh, okay. I learned something! Haha! Doctor Who, teaching you since 1963. What it teaches you, couldn't really say, but teaching. So yeah, I found this to be a pretty good ending. It wasn't exactly action-packed. I would say that the previous episode was sort of the climax of the story, and then this final episode was sort of just things unwinding, things coming to a close. Starting with the reveal of Napoleon Bonaparte, no doubt, or no less. Which, if I knew more about history, I'm sure I probably could have guessed that it was going to be him that showed up, but honestly, I just had no idea. And honestly, maybe it's because of the wigs, if they were wigs, that so many people were wearing in these episodes, but God, so many of them look the same. When Napoleon came in with the scarf around his face, and then we actually did see his face, I was just like... to quote Mad TV, he looked like a man. But yeah, so my guess that Le Maître was James Sterling was true. I feel like I kind of guessed that at the end of the previous video of discovering Doctor Who, that maybe he was the spy. Couldn't remember the name James Sterling for some reason, which I don't know why. Jim Sterling, the great Jimquisition. Those of you that hate Jim Sterling are probably so annoyed at me right now. But yeah, found that interesting. And again, just the reveal of Napoleon, and then just kind of watching the rest of the story unfold. It wasn't... More than anything, I feel like this season finale story was simply just another episode. Again, I don't know if back then they really had much of a concept of season finales, just like, ending a season with a gripper to make you come back, something along those lines. But as a whole, I feel like they did a good job of it. It felt like any other story, but at the same time one of the stronger ones, because while it did have some issues, I feel like especially in this classic era, some of their best work is with the historical stories, stories that focus on actual history, which, again, even though the one that I watched, I'm forgetting the name, but the one where basically all of the episodes were actually missing, and I had to watch the Telesnap recreations. Why can I not remember the name of that season? I feel so dumb. But anyway, you know the one I'm talking about, and I'll put a caption here because I'll be reminding myself afterward. But yeah, I feel like in this first season is like its strongest parts. Once the show got off of the first story, got away from just that new show. They were starting to find their groove, and it's clear that even here they're still working on the whole process. They're still finding their groove as far as the pacing goes and just some of the story writing, but they definitely showed improvement, and honestly this has me excited to get into season 2. And I unless I'm mistaken, I don't think that season 2 has many missing episodes, but then we'll come to season 3, and structuring that will be interesting, to say the least. But yeah, I'm just... one comparison I want to bring up is... Again, the end of the season here, it felt like any other story. It felt like any other serial as far as the rest of this season goes. And then with the latest series of Doctor Who, the series finale, a lot of people were complaining that it didn't feel epic enough. It didn't feel like a true finale for the 11th series. Up until we got the New Year's special, which I would argue felt like it felt more like a true finale for the season, the series, whatever. But I wonder if that was purposeful. The way that they handled that new series, the way that they ended it on an episode that it closed some of the story elements, but as a whole it really did just feel like another episode. It didn't have any sort of super cliffhanger or just anything like, truly majorly epic about it, as some people were putting it. Myself as well, to a degree. Again, I can't help but wonder if that was on purpose to sort of emulate the way that they did this first season all the way back then. Because, this new series was very experimental with the new writing crew, the new TARDIS crew in general, the TARDIS fam, and everything. And yeah, part of me wants to think that maybe that was done on purpose. Up until the New Year's special. But yeah, this has been fun. This has been really fun. I apologize that it has taken me so long to get through season 1 of classic Doctor Who. I'm still going to be coming back to this every now and then. I'm going to space it out a little bit because there are other shows I'm wanting to get to, and some that I'm wanting to bring back that I started a while back, but just never continued for whatever reason. So, classic Doctor Who isn't going anywhere. It may cut down to, well, I don't know exactly what the schedule is going to be because things are still kind of crazy for me right now. But these will continue to come out. I will be starting season 2 sometime soon, possibly in the next week, or at the very least in the next 2 weeks. And you can also look forward to me doing more Doctor Who related stuff, possibly the second season of Torchwood, maybe, perhaps, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And also, for those of you that have been wondering when I will be going back to it, yes, I will be getting back to Once Upon a Time. It will be coming back very soon. So, be looking forward to that. But, for now, this has been the final story of the first season of classic Doctor Who. Can't believe I can finally say that I've seen the entire first season. The reign of terror is over, and I'm ready to get into more. I am ready to see more of William Hartnell, and I hope you all are ready to go along for the ride with me as well. And I hope you've enjoyed me doing these. This has been a lot of fun, and yeah, I know I've repeated myself several times here, but Doctor Who's never going away on this channel. Up until something happens to me or something happens to this channel, I'm going to be doing Doctor Who stuff for quite a while. So, hope you all are in for the long haul. But, I'll end this for now. Everyone, please let me know your thoughts on these episodes as well as everything I've said. As well as, your thoughts on this story as a whole. I'm curious to hear what you think. And maybe even your thoughts on what I had to say about kind of comparing it to the final episode of Series 11 on the new era of Doctor Who. Just kind of curious about your thoughts on the little comparison I made there. But until next time, everyone, I am Papa Kenn, and I will see you for Season 2 of Classic Doctor Who. Allons-y!